Kaden Love and Ice Cream Eating Row. Welcome back to the show. I told you before we came on that you equated Row and I with Statler and Waldorf, and you will always have a soft spot in my very crusty old bitter heart because of that. So welcome to the show. How are you doing?
Thank you. I'm doing very wonderful. And as I made in that post, it is great to be among these people.
And you've done this show before, so you know what you're getting into. And
Yeah.
you decided to come back. Why?
I felt like I needed to be attacked a little more. People are too friendly and they don't get to the core. They just ask boring questions. So I needed something a little entertaining.
There you go. Evening Fiends. Tim McKay right on the time. So since you wanted to be people you mean to you, let's talk about the names of your books. Ro and I had a bet. One of us said you were drunk and the other said you lost a bet. How did you come up with these titles?
I had to...
hold on. To be fair, I didn't say he was drunk. I said he may have been high.
Oh, well.
Coming up with these super ethereal, weird things like this. And I mean, it might have been pretty much the same thing. I do know that during book one, I was on a long run when I was going through trying to find the idea for that. So I might have just had my mind wandering off.
Yep, lack of oxygen. Okay, that's
like, yes, this works. And book one had a long, complicated title, so book two had to as well, and book three will have to have one as well.
Okay, and so I'm sure everyone here knows your titles, but tell us again what your titles are when you show us your books.
Yes. Okay, so book one is Elegy of a Fragmented Vineyard. So we'll get into. I'll talk a little about the titles in a second, but book two is Duet of Pernicious Eels. So basis of this one, I love the idea of this book is a lot about people, a united people breaking apart over a policy that's kind of split them. I equated the fragmented vineyard to the world, the people in there, and it's kind of like a sad song to their shattering. And the title itself has actually taken a lot more meaning as the series has gone on. And I think that when people read book three that I'm currently working on, they will understand the meaning of it more. And then book two, I love the word pernicious, just increasingly worse, increasingly evil. And eels, they're out of all the crests in the six crests that are represented in my world, two of them have eels on it, and the rest is for people to figure out when they read it.
Okay, and John A. Douglas is on point tonight already.
Ooh, yeah. Hopefully not. That's ooh.
And Tim is doing public service announcement and telling you to stay away from those endorphins. I try to.
I have to ask a question, and you'll have to pardon me. I'm sure you get it a lot. How old are you?
14. Kidding. 26. As of this year, I'm 26.
All the wedding ring, right? So I figured, okay, you've got to be at least 13 in New Hampshire.
Yeah,
right?
Legally old enough to write a book.
So I'm on your author page, which I'm scrolling at the bottom there.
Mm-hmm.
Have you ever seen 16 Candles?
Yeah.
You kind of got a big Ducky vibe going with that photo on your author page.
You know, there we go. That's something. I haven't heard that before, but
now once you see it, you can't unsee it.
I can definitely see it now.
Okay. I mean, you might want to lean into that. I don't know, or get a new photo. It's up to you.
The photo
Pernicious is a great word, though.
Thank you.
You know, I sit there thinking, I was like, what word is least likely to appear on a fantasy book? And elegy, not so often. Fragmented, I don't know too many fragmented on a cover. And vineyard, I don't think I've ever seen. Pernicious, no. Eels, no. Usually don't have duets. Duels, sure, lots of duels. But yet, no one should have trouble finding your books if they do a search and I just know it's eels, duet of, no problem finding, there's keywords, it's kind of genius.
Yep. So they look it up and they'll get my book or probably some weird, randomly unrelated book. So
Yeah.
there we go.
Did you have it written before you named it?
So I did with book one, at least for the most part. Book two, I think I came up with the title kind of halfway through writing it, and then book three, I haven't announced the title anywhere, but that one I figured out before I even finished book two.
So if you do it like that, how much do you have to modify the story to the title?
Not as I haven't done that really. Book two, I got the idea when certain characters started doing things. And so I really, I guess, shaped the title around the book. And book one was just, it's more thematic rather than on a specific event. And then book three, I had the title because when I started writing it, I'm a big plotter, pantser mix, but I knew a big event that had to happen. And this is kind of around that and the big theme of the book itself. So it kind of gave me a backbone, but I think it kind of directed the people to the theme of the book itself.
Wait, you have a theme in your book? People do that?
Yeah. I mean, I thought it was just about like swinging swords and stuff, but somebody told me that you should write some purpose to it.
Yeah, I'll get around to that sometime.
According to Vivian, hello Vivian, welcome.
Yes.
You have a Kickstarter. Is this your first one?
This is my second one, and thank you, Vivian, for backing it. I did a Kickstarter with the first one, and it went really well. And I had a lot of fun with it, so I did it with the second one. Nothing like super big, exclusive, fancy editions, but because my wife's my artist, she did cover art. So for stretch goals, all I really did was if we hit this much, we do more internal illustrations. So each of them has 2 internal illustrations, and then I'm reaching over here because for book 2, I did a little pin for there's a character with a wolf's mask in both the books. So I made that and sent it out to people that ordered it. Pretty simple but fun.
How many kind of backers are you getting on this?
So both of them had around 100 backers. Yeah. Book 1 I know had 116, and then book 2 had a little bit less, but both of them brought in about 4,500-ish. Book 2, it was really interesting to see because I was questioning how much will a campaign for a sequel do. Of course, there are a lot of people that enjoyed book 1 that went and bought it, but there are a lot of people that bought both books together. So I sold a good amount of package deals.
Nice.
Yeah. Kickstarter is just one of those things that you see and you go, wow, how hard could it be?
Mm-hmm.
And then, of course, the answer is probably always a lot harder than you thought it was going to be. So how was it for you? I mean, what does someone need to have going into that other than, a product, right? But
yeah. I think one of the biggest things is definitely it helped to have somewhat of a social presence, so that it's not just launched and thrown out for who knows to find if they're lucky. I am not the biggest Kickstarter scholar, but I do know that it helps to have backed a fair amount of Kickstarters. If you want, it kind of gives credibility because people can look at whoever's running the Kickstarter to see if they've backed it, if they're kind of like a community supporter, as well as being one of the projects we loved, which I did hit that featured projects we loved for book 2, because I probably backed around 9 or so Kickstarters, which isn't a ton compared to a lot of people out there, but it was enough.
Nice.
all right. So what do you do? What's your job? Do you have Or are you one of those people that just writes all the time?
Not that. Yeah, I am a nurse, so I work in endoscopy, which is nice and fun. I see the insides of colons all the time, which, if people know anything about my book, it is has to do with organ transplants and mainly an additional intestine, we call it. So a lot of random science in that, and yeah.
So we had a doctor from the. You remember? It was a few weeks ago, Mike.
Yes, yeah. Mahir Wanchu.
Yeah. And I asked him what was the weirdest thing he's ever found, which went down a path that we didn't expect it to go down. So I'll ask you the same question. You're into that kind of thing.
Yeah. I
don't mean if you're into that kind of thing.
I haven't been fortunate enough to find very weird things, but I work with a lot of people that have. Like I said, I deal with colons. Some people have shoved race cars up there. And I've also heard of people that this gives me an idea for my future colonoscopy. Some people will swallow Lego heads so that the doctors find a little smiling face at them while they're down there.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
As a couple of guys in our 50s, you've just given us ideas.
There you go. Because certain things will pass through, certain things will just stay there, and you'll be like, oh, that's something.
So as someone whose colonoscopy was due last year and I'm now overdue, you just give me an idea.
Pop a little one. Nice smiling face.
Try to find a Lego head that does this.
Like a Gollum head or a Dobby head or something like that.
All right. Yeah, let's not go down that road anymore, so to speak.
Kaden, I have a question for you.
Yes.
About a year ago now, I'm guessing, you started your own YouTube channel?
Yeah, I did.
So, I don't want to brag, but we've been on for like 2 years now, and we're close to breaking 400 subscribers. So,
have we not broken 400 yet?
No. So how
the hell? Come on, people.
How about you, Kaden? How's your channel doing?
Okay, it's going really well. We passed 2,000 subscribers pretty quickly, and I will say that we did cheat. We didn't use AI, but if you can see there, this is a silver play button that is not associated with our channel at all. My wife, as an artist, she actually had an art channel that she hasn't really used as much. She's from Russia. It was all in Russian, and it was just like, it was just art stuff. And she had all of that. So when she's not doing art, she's really big into videography. So she kind of stopped doing stuff on that channel and just basically said to all her subscribers, I've moved here, we're doing this. And we didn't have to hire a professional editor or anything. And so I basically just I have a fun random idea, fun stuff to talk about. And she does the rest, because one time I tried editing and I can't.
Maybe we should be talking to your wife and not you. She does all the artwork. She does all your video editing.
I'm just making up things and putting them on paper, and sometimes people buy them.
So basically, I looked. So you have 6 times the subscribers of us, and you did it in half the time.
No, but he cheated.
Yeah,
does that
matter over his wife's art people?
Does it matter though how you get it?
No, not at all.
Oh.
And we'll take bots at this point.
Yeah, I don't know. There's some people out there that I'm sure have bots for on Twitter. They have 10,000 followers and stuff. Maybe I should just do that. Who cares? Sometimes I don't give enough interaction. Some bots will keep me company.
I'm disappointed with our viewers, because we had 4 or 5 who all said they were going to start doing bots, because I told them if we got to 500 subscribers by the end of last year, I was getting a tattoo on the back of my head, and everyone kept saying they're going to get bots and put us there, and none of them did.
These people aren't following through.
I know.
I have to wonder if the democracy and even EL are real people here. You know, or they're just, you know, they set up their computer to join it at a certain time. And
Well, Mr. McKay is just Twitter's bad boy. So, yeah, exactly. He,
okay. Tell us about your artist. It's his wife, El.
Yes. So this is the cover of book one. And I know this is a family-friendly channel, but we've got naked covers. But that's one of the best things that I can just like. So she is like, that is her job. She is employed by an agency, does book covers for other people other than me. So I just give her a cool idea, and I'm like, oh, it'd be cool if we have like this guy fighting this monster that I made up, and she did it. But I trust her to do the rest because she knows design better than I do, and then does all the cool inner stuff and the stickers and
she doesn't make you pay for it?
other ways.
How long you been married?
It will be 3 years this year in May.
Yeah, you'll pay for it eventually.
Yeah. I clean the house and all that, and
a couple more years you will be writing checks. I mean, you will be physically handing her money.
Please do it. And that's, she's working on one. She has like 2 other jobs right now, and she's working on, like 2 other cover book internal illustration things she's working on now. But she's also working on a cover for another book that I'm doing right now, and I have to not be so annoying, even though I very much want that cover. And there's some things that she has to do, her jobs, her whatever things she does with companies, even though I'm her husband.
So I have one more random question for you. I saw on Twitter, I think it was somewhere, where you were at a Comic-Con and this big, tall guy was really excited to get a copy of your book. His name was Brandon Sanderson, something like that.
Yeah.
So has he reviewed your book yet?
He hasn't. He's a pretty small, I'm in Utah, local author, so he's probably just grinding away in his warehouse writing books.
Yeah, he's just a slacker. I am upset with him. And you tell him come on the show anytime he wants to defend himself. We'll make time.
Yeah, if I can, I'll get in the good word.
So if he bought one of your books at a con, did you at least like get a picture of him buying your book?
So the story with that is actually how he does those like lectures that he posts online. That is where my wife went to school, and we have some friends that are still going there, and we have some friends that were in his class at the time. They invited me to come. I gave him a copy of the book, had a chance to talk to him. And that's where I got that picture from. But that's really all that's come from it. At Dragonsteel, the convention in December, I was selling my books there, and so at the end of the convention, they closed off like the main hall for any of the entrants, just for him to walk around and like meet all the people. And I had like another like 5-second interaction with him there. So really fun, friendly guy, but as you can bet, busy and probably is bombarded with book requests like that.
Did he have people behind him like to carry all the free books that people were like pressing into his hand as he walked by?
He had like a crew of people that I don't know if they're like his security or just people working there, but just pushing him through, because I'm sure he got handed so much stuff all the time.
Oh, see, and now Dave
Lawson,
be on the show again.
Horrible liar, but God bless you for trying.
Oh.
Where are we going, Mike?
I don't know.
My brain's still frozen from the ice cream.
Oh, okay. I have silly questions.
Yeah, bring them.
Should we ask my favorite question and see if he gets it wrong?
Oh, God. Yeah, go ahead.
Okay. There's only one correct answer, and Rogue gets it wrong every single time.
The numbers do not bear that out.
So there's a lot of people who are wrong in this world. So picture this. You are going down the main street of your city. You can either be in a saddle astride a griffin, or a T-Rex? Which one do you choose?
I got to go with a griffin. I want to fly.
You're wrong.
What? No.
If you're the T-Rex, you can like pick up other people's cars and throw them through windows.
Kaden,
That is pretty cool. Like,
19
you would
out
be
of
able
10
to-
people pick the griffin, man.
You
Yeah.
can eat stray cats and do the world a favor.
Easy.
And on top of the griffin, I can just look down on people, all these peons of society, just thinking how great I am.
Yeah, just griffin droppings.
Ooh, Dave, right there.
Not true.
Maybe that's the real reason you want it. Those just cybernetic arms on the inside of your shirt. You just have these dinky little things that you're hiding from the public.
And Ryan has a real question for you.
Yes. Yes, Ryan. Okay. Do I think I'll write in other genres? 100% yes, because my next book is a cyberpunk novel. I've posted like a little about it online, but I haven't done a ton because I'm trying to organize getting some of those big name random guys that think they're cool to help me with a cover reveal. But in essence, I am releasing it maybe in April, May, to the public on Amazon, but I'm going to do initial release on Royal Road because why not? I'm going to try it there. Have talked to some of the people that have done releases that way. And even though it's not a lit RPG, it does have a little bit of progression stuff. And I don't know, it's really weird. So I write one book about organ transplant magic. This book has vampires that eat teeth instead of drinking blood, cyborg dolphins, and Chinese mythology.
They eat teeth?
Yeah.
I could sit around at this desk for a year trying to think up obscure shit to write about. Vampires eating teeth would never cross my mind.
It was just so honestly it came from a short story that was that I wrote back in college that was initially like a fantasy approach to a tooth fairy origin story. Vampires that ate teeth, and one that has a moral sense. He's like, I don't want to do this anymore. Like, I'm ripping out teeth of people. We need another way. Introduce the idea of people like tricking kids into hiding their teeth under their pillows. And there was that. That was kind of like the twist at the end, that they are the tooth fairies. And
You're going to give like a whole generation of children nightmares.
Yeah, they're like, get that away from me. And then I started writing that as a fantasy book, and it was going okay, but I kind of set it aside as I was focusing on this book. And then I got really into cyberpunk, and I was like, why not? Let's make it a cyberpunk tooth-eating vampire story. And how cyborg dolphins got in there, I don't really remember. It just happened.
You have cyborg dolphins.
Yeah. So those are like
the. Sure that you're not. You're where again?
I'm in Utah.
Are you sure you're in Utah? Because you sound kind of like you might be in Oregon.
So, Ro, I just had an idea here. Okay. I want to see a collaboration between Kaden and C.M. Kaplan.
I've heard so much about his books, like being.
Oh my god!
Something.
Yeah. I'll help pay for that. Yeah, sign me up for that Kickstarter.
Yeah, there we go. And because while I was reading, so I'm trying to think what I was reading a lot of while doing this. Definitely like some of the classics like Do Androids Dream of Electric Sheep, Neuromancer, and I've gotten a lot really into like magic realism. Haruki Murakami has been a recent big influence, who a lot of his books just make me kind of think like, what is going on? Very surreal, weird stuff. And that's what kind of is going on here. It's not quite to the hallucinogenic level as like Adrian Gibson's book, Mushroom Blues, but it's definitely weird.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, a vampire dentist walks up with a bat. I've also heard people say, "Oh, so you're writing the vampire dentist book?" Sure, yes, this is all propaganda to get the Englishmen to floss their teeth.
Oh god, yeah, you're fighting a losing battle there.
Ugh.
Get me started about English
So,
people and their teeth.
I'm going to start taking a list now. We're talking about English teeth, just because random stuff that's coming up. This is one of our better ones.
Yeah. Well, how much cyberpunk do you get in Utah? It's never struck me as a very cyber or punky kind of place.
No, like it's not. I know that as far as punk goes, there's a movie called 801 Punk that I know that had the guy that played Shaggy in the live action Scooby Doo, and it takes place in Salt Lake. That's all I know about it. Cyberpunk wise, I don't even remember where I really got super into it. Like as of late, like Neuromancer. I am a hardcore fantasy fan of the heart. That's why I wrote these books. But I do like science fiction every now and then, and being able to use like modern slang and my more own made up slang was something that I thought was really fun with cyberpunk. Is that you can have the high tech, low life kind of thing where I can have people speak with poor grammar, and it's all good. I can sound as horrible as I do when I'm just texting my friends, and it can be just normal banter between characters.
Right? Yeah, I think that every now and then writing fantasy too. It's like, boy, it'd be really nice to just drop in a modern colloquialism or two in here, and but it's like, you can't really do that.
Exactly.
So I hesitate to ask what kind of music you listen to, but I'm going to.
Okay. So my preferred genre is indie alternative rock. But my music taste as of late has been really weird. I listen to a lot of ambient stuff. So when I write in the morning or like read in the morning just to focus, I'll turn on stuff that just kind of sounds like a vibration with like weird spacey noises in the background. And so some of that, I don't know, a bit of everything, not country. I am not a country person. But yeah, indie alternatives kind of what I tend to go to.
Okay.
And random question for you: where in Utah are you?
I am in Sandy, so it's about 15 minutes south of Salt Lake, about 20 minutes north of the Sanderson mansion, even though I haven't been able to track it down yet.
Well,
Okay.
I mean, there's only so many people there. It can't be difficult, right?
I know the city, and I mean it's probably in some gated area or something. Just go climb a couple
you guys
fences.
keep talking. I'm going to go on Google Maps and find it.
And see, this is why the Griffin would come in handy. Just go over.
Right.
I'm sure you could find a picture of the house somewhere online. Just knock on the door and be like, "You remember me, right? No, you don't. I have this evidence. This is me and you. We're basically friends now."
And you're like, and here's book 2, which you haven't
Yes.
bought yet.
He probably has like a stack of pre-signed do not approach orders, stalkers and stuff. But he just hands
like,
out
"Oh, here's another
at
guy."
Halloween to all the kids. You get one full-size Snickers bar from me, and now don't ever come within 500 feet of my house again. Florida, you have fences in Florida?
Oh yeah, I installed my own because I was poor, and
Keep
said,
gators out.
I'll never do it again.
So Florida has gators. What does Utah have?
We have deer, and if you go south to where the rocks are red, lizards. And I know that Galaxy Quest was filmed in a place called Goblin Valley, so I think there are Martians down there.
Well, you get a called Goblin Valley. How bad could it be?
I know that, and like the salt. There is a really cool place called the Salt Flats next just to the west that is basically just big white plains. Yeah, we've got Brandon Sanderson. We have the state bird, which is the California gull. Makes a lot of sense.
Somebody just being lazy there. They're just
Like,
what is that?
it's an ex-
All right.
I mean, seriously, the Roadrunner. You should have the Roadrunner as your state bird.
that should be it. That was my elementary school mascot. Funny enough.
I think it's New Mexico's.
Mhm.
The Cardinal is like 5 different states' state bird, so you know.
Mike is offended by this whole bird thing. I mean,
Yeah.
he broke out the caps lock. So,
Yeah, we have that.
yeah, Florida.
Yeah, Dave said a lot of indie authors. I'm trying to think, like, there are a good amount, like Amber Toro's here, Brady Hunsaker's here. I live a couple minutes away from James Dashner, who wrote The Maze Runner.
Well, you need to talk to these guys. Go talk to your friend Brandon and the Maze Runner dude, and tell them that you know a very low key YouTube channel that they should go on just for shits and grins.
Exactly.
Yeah, love and lore.
And Mike, if your 5-year-old is still around as I say shits and grins, that's on you now.
We're talking about colonoscopies, you know, it's just on character.
So for the Maze Runner author, you literally just run over to his house then, right?
Yeah, I mean, I could. The really funny thing is that my grandma actually quilts with his wife. So one time we were going out to get pizza with my grandparents, and lo and behold, she's like, "Hey, this is the guy that wrote The Maze Runner." And okay, super random and weird. And
did they try to introduce you something? It's like, oh, Kaden writes too.
Yeah, exactly that. Tell about your book.
Like, oh my God, no.
I know, it's like, that's the thing. If you get someone that's like really into fantasy, reading books, and they're like, "Hey, I heard you write books. Yeah, here, go look up me online." And I don't want to talk about myself, but get someone big like that, and it's like, yeah, I self-published my books. I think is pretty cool, but a very select group of people know about me. But
well, that guy's like, yeah, you know what I do with my books? I buy houses.
Yeah, buy houses. Got a couple of movies.
Yeah.
Right.
So yeah, he probably has a couple of Utah state birds, you know, just keeps as pets.
Exactly, things like that.
Something. Yeah.
So that's the thing. Like, Utah is a great place for networking in that sense. Like,
who would have thought that?
Yeah.
That's a sentence I would have never imagined happening.
Exactly. But you never know. And I've like with it's super nice having Sanderson here for Dragonsteel with his convention, because I met a ton of people that I wouldn't have met otherwise, just because the convention was here and it attracted a lot of big people.
Is that every year there?
Yeah. So I don't know which number it is this year, but like, it gets bigger every year, and it's at the biggest convention center I know of around here, and it was a real blast. Super fun.
When is it?
December. So it was like the first weekend in December, and I think that it used to be like middle of the week, but they finally moved it to the weekend here. And yeah, it was really good. Like, sales wise, definitely the best thing that I've done, like an in-person event. Because I've done our local Comic-Con, which was fun and all, but Dragonsteel's perfect because it is concentrated your audience. Like, people are there to talk about fantasy books, buy fantasy books, etc.
Yeah, that does make a big difference. But you know, Comic-Cons are generally pretty good because there's nobody walking into a Comic-Con who doesn't read fantasy.
Exactly. Like, in it, and there's so much fun. Like, I'm just a sucker for conventions. I grew up going to our local Comic-Con all the time, and so it's always fun to go there and see who's there. Like, even though I didn't go pay for like to go have celebrity signings and stuff, it's just fun to like walk by. Like, so the last one, local bookstore had me at their booth to come do a signing for a short amount of time. My wife went to the bathroom and she's like, "Oh yeah, I just saw like all the hobbits." Just like the whole cast of Lord of the Rings just doing something, and I was like, wow, that's awesome. I kind of wish I was there. I saw some random guy that was in like a few episodes of The Walking Dead. That was about it.
Right. Yeah. Some of the small cons really they start going down the alphabet of listers, you know, some D-listers. Some people you look at the picture, you go, who the hell is that? You know, or the picture of them is from when they did the show, and you're looking at it going, dude, that show was like in the 80s, man. That person's got to be 75 years old now, you know.
You walk by their booth, like you've got one person that has just rows and rows of people, and you're like, should I go ask for their autograph? I don't know who they are, but just to kind of like make them feel good. They were on some Disney Channel show 15 years ago, and maybe they need some person to say like, hey, I kind of know who you are.
That person's sitting alone by themselves, usually a WWE wrestler, right? Who doesn't look anything like they used to look. You know, they're now like 5 inches shorter and 100 pounds lighter, and you know.
Exactly.
So I have a random question for you. I know this shocks you. I read where in Utah you can go to the Olympic Village or whatever, and you can actually go bobsledding down the Olympic bobsledding course. Have you ever done this?
I haven't done that, but at the same place, I did something that was called, I think they called it like extreme tubing. So it was during the summer, and the ski jumps are like turf when there's not snow on them. So they have these things where they have just, you know, the big tubes that you can ride on. They have like a plastic bottom. So you get to ride down the ski jumps, not the jump part, but just like the super steep slopes. And it was super fun. Yeah. And that's the thing. Like, I feel like it'd be fun to try bobsledding, but it'd be pretty sketchy.
You know, if you just have me with you, with all my weight, we will go down and over in a flash.
Just set a record.
So yeah, and by the way, I'm coming to your place for Dragon Steel in December, so you'll just have to give me your address and we can go bobsledding.
Don't do it.
That'll be so much fun. Actually, like it'll be cool.
So go ahead.
Your address.
Give me your address. Tell me which times you're at home, which room you sleep in, and so forth.
Which one of these windows is yours? I'm on the street.
No, but I can't recommend coming to Dragon Steel enough. Like it was so much fun. And even just outside of like me as an author participating, I don't know how much you like looked into it, but they had this thing that was like basically you came and got these story deck cards that were in the end, the completed sets were 3 complete short stories set in his book Worlds. And the whole thing was just basically trading cards, and you get a bunch for free for just coming. And then by doing random tasks there, just basically attending panels, you got more. So it's just super fun. Like it's a super involved thing where it's like, yeah, this isn't designed just to come make a ton of money, but more so just to really build the community and have a lot of fun.
That's awesome. And you've set up a table there? Yeah.
Yeah. So another one of the great benefits is they had a thing called Indie Row that I hope they do next year, because the booths, I assume, are like 1,000 to 2,000 or so, but it was $250 a day just to have a booth on it. Yeah. So, and there were 3 days, and I just did 1 day and made my money back like that, even though like I had some people that had recognized me that I like had told that I was coming just from following my Instagram and stuff like that. But like so many people just walking by were interested enough. And luckily enough, like on this Indie Row, person like a couple booths down for me had one of the things you need to go to for like passing off the task to get more of those cards that I talked about. So there was always like a line stopped in front of my booth, and I'm just like, hey, while you're here, you want to hear about this? And sold a good amount there, and it was just a really fun time.
Yeah. Do you think you could do it for 2 or 3 days?
Yeah. I do plan on doing it more. I mean, the applications I think will go out in April if it's the same as last year. I'll apply for however many they offer me and take it, because as well as with my wife being my artist, she also had a bunch of her prints for some of the Brandon Sanderson art that she did and some other stuff. So she sold her stuff there while I sold my books. And it's going to help because I'll have at least 2 more books to sell there this year.
How many do you have total?
So I have book 1, book 2 is new, and then I have my prequel novella, which I already sold, and then Toothsucker, that cyberpunk one. I'll have that to sell as well, which I'm really interested to see, because you never know. Sometimes people come to your booth, even just at bookstores and stuff. Maybe they're not super into fantasy, but to have the variety there,
yeah,
I'm just interested to see how it will go. And I feel like cyberpunk's a pretty hot topic today, so hopefully I'll get some attention there.
Nice. Well, the character, who's the main character of your book? Let's it's been 40 minutes. Let's talk about your book for a minute.
Yes. So book 1 starts off. There are 3 main characters that it focuses on. Yetrick is the first one right here, and Aerie and Fenmir. So Fenmir is setting the basis of this world. It is a world where people harvest organs from infants to give people magic abilities through these organ transplants. Fenmir is a surgeon providing that surgery, but he's very opposed to the process, as are his people.
I have to ask, what happens to the infant? Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
And so that's the big moral dilemma. It's kind of a thing where people are like, do we let these kids grow up, live out their abilities, or do we progress society by giving it to an adult who can, like one of them helps people read minds to make it simple, so that helps eliminate crime and so forth, things like that, where people think it is better for society to take this. And so Aerie right here is for that process. She's a politician that is involved with it. And then Yetrick is a younger person that his people are for it, but he's kind of trying to figure it out for himself. Book 2 follows these characters and 3 more point of views from characters that are also introduced in book 1.
Wow. So you have a total of like 5 POVs in book 2?
Book 2 has, let me think, 6. There's 6 in book 2.
6. Grief.
Nice.
That's that's a bit much to keep track of.
Yeah, it is a lot. And like I won't hide that when I got into writing book 2, I got really into Malazan, and so book 3, Memories of Ice, was the biggest inspiration for it. Just a lot of things that happened in there, and I am nowhere near as many point of views as that. But I felt that I got my readers introduced to the world enough with book 1 that they're comfortable with those characters. And so when they get into the point of views of the characters in book 2, they're characters they're already familiar with. And a lot of time they're already with our other main point of view characters, but it's just like a different perspective. And like one of the new point of views in book 2 is a character you meet in book 1, but he's also the main character in the prequel novella.
So what's your plan for the end of the trilogy?
So once I finish it, I would like to I do want to do novellas in between the books. So that is one thing that will be happening. I wrote the prequel novella in between book 1 and in between book 2 and 1, even though it takes place before book 1. I have another novella in the process, and then I want to do one that takes place after the story. But somehow similar to like Joe Abercrombie did with his books, I do plan on revisiting the world after this trilogy, whether that means a time jump, a complete continuation just from a different story arc, or an adjacent group of people. I don't really know yet. Book 3 is really focused on wrapping up this story arc, as well as laying the ground for conflicts that can be explored later on. So making the world a little big, so you see the world is bigger than you might have thought, but it's not enough for you to like be like, oh wait, do I need to worry about all this now? No, these are just little hints at things that could be explored later on.
So do you have like a room of your house that's just covered with sticky notes in different colors trying to tell you where the heck you are?
I really should, but I have a couple written down journals and a very messy Word document that has disorganized thoughts that probably seem like Chinese to people that look at it, but it makes sense to me most of the time.
Yeah. All right. John's got a question. After your third book is done, are you going to explore another different genre other than cyberpunk, or do something entirely different?
Yeah, so I would like to stay in this world for at least some books, but there are some random ideas for projects I've set on the side that I would like to write as well. My cyberpunk series is aimed at being a longer series of shorter books, so that one will be continue to be written for the next little while. And then I'd like to do a standalone, completely unrated everything, because I don't know, I just think it'd be kind of interesting to see how that would run. And I just have a story idea kind of cooking that when I eventually have the time to write it, I think it'll be ready.
So in your job as a nurse, how many of your characters are taken from the people you meet at the hospital? Because having worked at a hospital, not as a healthcare provider in any sense, but you see some interesting cats walk through the door of a hospital.
Definitely a lot of the just random people there, because like even without choice, these are the people that kind of ingrain themselves into my life. And also the like my coworkers and the doctors that I work with, having kind of a medical basis for this book with the organ transplants. I kind of have to put my mind in someone that has more education than me, even though it's taken from a different world. So yeah, it's just kind of a mix.
All right. Michael.
Yes, sir.
Do we want to take this young man who is younger than some clothes that we probably own?
And runs for fun?
Huh?
And runs for fun.
Well, no, that's fine.
That's disturbing.
No, it's not. It means he still has cartilage in his knees.
For now. Running on but I do run on the sidewalk every day, so we'll see how long that lasts.
Wait till you have to start getting those injections in your knees, man. Those are fun.
Yeah, Tim knows what's coming. So for this, we want you to pick one of your characters, and we want to find out more about him, but we don't want you to give us spoilers. So he or she is going to be magically transported to a place that this die will tell us where it is. And then some other random things will happen, and you'll have choices. And then we're going to set up the scene and say, okay, how does your character react in this situation?
Let's do it.
So which character are you choosing?
Okay. Do you want me to tell you, like, what do you want to know about him?
Just a name for now. You'll fill it in once we get the story.
His name is Voln, Voln.
Okay, and what is Voln? Who is he? Is he one of your main characters?
He becomes a main character. He is a 10-year-old shapeshifter with the
a 10-year-old shapeshifter. Okay,
yeah.
Well, you know what? If you can sacrifice infants and we can have a 10-year-old in the bald dome, that's fine.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, so Volm has been transported to a mysterious portal leading to other realms. These came from ChatGPT. Don't ask. I don't know.
Edit them?
No. That's
the robot can do that. That's its job.
So now Volm gets a choice. He can get a regular item, or he can get a real weapon. If he gets a regular item, he will face a regular animal. If he gets a weapon, he will face a fantasy creature. And the fantasy creature will be aggravated to start, but where it goes from there is anybody's guess. So does he want a regular item, or does he want a weapon?
He goes for a weapon without any thought.
Okay, that's unfortunate. He would have got 4 rushlights had he gone for fun. But instead, he gets a crossbow. He even has bolts with it too. So
rushlight.
So now instead, he would have faced a coyote, but instead he faces 5, which is a swarm of giant poisonous spiders.
Hold on one sec.
With a
Stop what you're doing.
crossbow.
You have a potion as well. Has he
Oh,
told
yes,
you about
yes,
the potion?
Sorry.
What?
What's your favorite
What?
color, Kaden?
Green.
Okay, it's a green fizzy potion.
And it's a big potion too, probably like 2 or 3 different, But before we get to this really quick, all the folks watching this, if you have a friend, Kaden is about 7 viewers away from being the all-time high viewership on this show. Live viewership. So find a friend, call them up, tell them to log in for the last 10, 15 minutes.
Ro, if they had friends, they wouldn't be here. I mean, come on. But anyway, so Volm has his very large vial of green fizzy potion, but he doesn't know what it does, but it is 100% effective, whatever it is that it does. He just doesn't know what it does. And neither do I, because Ro rolled for this. So he has a green fizzy potion. He has his crossbow and bolts. I don't know how he's going to load it without setting his potion down, but that's up for you to decide. And he's just turned the corner from this portal that connecting all sorts of different realms. And by God, there's a swarm of poisonous spiders that just starts chittering as they see him around the corner. What happens next?
He decides to take his first shot, so he loads it right up and just shoots at the first thing running at him.
Okay. Wait, let me roll. Which is
no.
a bad.
Your bow is going to explode in your hand.
Oh,
An 18.
Oh my God!
There we go.
Normally I don't roll higher than a 5, but you're lucky today. So okay, first one's dead. Skewered right between the eyes. A swarm.
A swarm. Oh.
Yes. Of giant spiders.
Because
they're small, they can be hard to hit. What's that?
How many crossbow bolts does he have?
We're going to give him 12. So 11 now.
There we go.
Okay.
But how long does it take to load a crossbow?
Yeah.
Okay, I'm going to say he runs and tries to hide under the corpse of the first one while he loads his next one.
Well, there's an interesting... So you're running toward them all.
Yes. He wants to see if he can hide under it and we'll say that he goes and he stabs up with it and tries to cover himself in its juice while he loads it.
So, hey, Ro, you may not believe this, rolled a 20.
No way.
Yeah.
So you not only punch through that one, you kill another one.
Yeah, when you stick the sword up to get in there, one was on top and you killed it too. Or bolt, I guess, not a sword.
God, you live under a pleasant sun, man, because this is not right.
Yeah, normally by now someone would have shot themselves in the stomach with the crossbow.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, Dan. Funny you should say that, Dan.
Do I have any of the potion left?
You haven't taken it yet.
You haven't taken it. You haven't done anything.
Let's down that boy right now.
Okay.
So you can drink it or you can throw it at the spiders. It's 100% effective. You just don't know what it does.
I need a 1d4. Hold on.
So he's drinking it and
Hold on.
it's 1d4. Come on, how hard is it to roll? Do you want me to ask ChatGPT?
You do that, and your character just kind of wells up and lets go of one of those big, giant, rumbly kind of just makes you feel lighter kind of farts.
Oh.
Is the spider dislodged from on top of him?
Followed by what you think is a fart, but it might be worse. It's kind of a shart at this point, so you're not really sure.
Okay.
And basically, you're just farting a lot now.
Okay. And is there anything else that I noticed, or is that it?
You notice it's really starting to smell underneath that giant spider, and you think you might have, you might need to change your trousers, but you're not sure.
Okay.
But it just keeps happening, and it will continue to keep happening for about an hour or so.
Do I have any of the potion left?
Sure, yeah. Yeah, if you want some more, go ahead, knock yourself out.
Let's while he's facing his difficulties, he just uncorks it and flings the rest at the next approaching spider.
Okay.
Okay.
Now the spider is farting too.
So if anybody has a lighter, it's going to get very explosive here soon.
Oh no. Oh no. I pulled the mic. Go ahead. You carry on. I'll figure out what this does here in a minute.
Okay, I want to try and load my crossbow to shoot that very gaseous one to see if that gas buildup has led to anything when he is popped.
It's just gas, man. You work in colonoscopy stuff.
I don't know what that potion did.
So, Ro, I got a 4 in this.
I rolled a 1, so.
Oh, okay. Yeah, so what happens here, Ro?
I think it probably misses it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Does it spark when it hits the ground?
Ooh. Yeah. Good. I like that.
Yeah.
Anything over a 15 and we have ignition. Oh no. So you have dice next to you, Kaden?
Yeah, I do.
Yeah.
I'll grab it. What do you need?
Is your character fairly dexterous?
Yes.
Okay, give me anything over a 12 and you can hide underneath your giant spider thing and avoid the worst of the damage.
It's not the 11, I'll tell you that. It's a 4.
Oh no, yeah. You're going to take that in the face. The good news is though that at least half of that swarm is probably on fire right now. So,
and you lose all your hair, so now you look like Ro and I.
Yeah.
How thematic.
A face worse than a fate worse than death. So okay. Now you've got to still fight through a few spiders. You and your flatulent buddy spider. You're underneath a couple of spiders, but you need to get out. What you going to do?
I am going to. He's just gonna put his hands there, his feet there. And he's just gonna try to knock it off with his butt, bounce it off, and roll free.
The spiders that are on top of you?
Yeah, and then just try to skitter away.
Yeah, all right.
So are you going to go for one of the portals to a different world?
Yes.
Do we say he finds the Sanderson mansion?
Roll what world he goes to, Mike.
12.
And 12 is? What kind of world? Tell me it's like a really mild world with lots of beautiful people.
It is a ruined battlefield haunted by the ghosts of fallen warriors.
And they hear you coming because you're just farting the entire way.
But the farts dissipate the ghosts, right?
Sure.
How spiritual are these farts?
EL's asking, is this really where you're going? You're going with the butt bump? But yeah, why not? I think that's probably good enough.
I think that's I don't know that we learned much about your character, but it was fun.
That was very fun. We need you guys to like run a whole campaign with a bunch of authors like this. It'd be so much fun.
We had actually talked about that once, getting like 5 people together and doing a live D&D game. Because Mike has never played. No. And I haven't played since the 2nd edition rules were new.
Oh.
So before you were born, Kaden.
Way before you were born. A decade. Because I'm assuming you're like 99?
Yep.
You're born
99.
Good God.
Okay. Yeah. So
yeah, we've been thinking about it. We haven't done it yet. Don't know who.
Well, if you
do
it,
anybody would actually tune in to watch that.
Please turn it off.
Well, we can get Mike Roberti's 5-year-old daughter.
There you go. Yes, exactly. Well, if you ever decide to set up something like that, I am very willing.
Okay. Well, I'm going to talk to you after the show's over about creature creation.
Okay, good.
But if you can find 3 friends or more, 3 to 5 friends,
Yeah.
We can do something.
Get Maze Runner guy and Sanderson there.
Yeah, just hey buddies, come over here.
We're
Just
gonna
hang out
make
all
up
the
a new
time.
critter.
They're my normal D&D group, you know.
Although honestly, if you get Sanderson, it's going to take an hour just for him to make one choice. So, see, I'm talking all sorts of smack. You tell him come on the show.
Hey.
Mike, Dave Lawson, that's hitting low, man.
I mean, I bought his special edition mustache covered book. Look at Grommy, big fan with a mustache now. I can't believe you. You got your sale, and now I'm just dead to you.
You know, I think I need a mannequin like that because the closest thing we have is we'll say I enjoy a lot of vampires, but my wife likes a particular vampire romance, and we might just have a cardboard cutout of a werewolf from said vampire romance in our house.
Tell me you found that out after it was too late, after you'd already married her.
We found that at a garage sale, actually. Fortunately,
No, you found out that she liked the.
Yes.
Okay.
That was after.
Yeah, because that would have been a deal breaker.
No, stop it.
Yell. Well, Kaden, you didn't make 70, but I think 67 has got to be. We're going to call it tied.
Yeah,
because it's got to be. Yeah. So congratulations to you! Yay!
Thank you. I tried very hard.
It was the Statler and Waldorf post that did it.
That's right.
People are like, this. We need that.
And I think word got around about swallowing Legos to.
They're like, hear what this guy's got to say. It was so good. I mean, I kind of did go viral the other day. I made a post on Threads, the great value version of Twitter. I said that Shrek is romantasy, and for some reason, a lot of people like to share that. It had nothing to do. Nobody really followed me from it, but they shared it with their friends. So maybe that's what brought them all here.
So that's what moves the world nowadays. Is that hot take that Shrek is romantasy?
Yes. Yes.
Wow. Holy shit! You got 69.
Yeah.
Well, Alex tuned in just in time for us to just about leave. But hey, Alex, we're glad you're here.
Well, you got him up to 69, Alex. So, all the old people know what I'm doing when I do that. So it's called Bill and Ted.
Very excellent.
All right. So Caden's website is there. Go check out his ducky photo on the bottom of his website, and get one of his books, the interestingly named books. Tell us your book names again, just one more time.
Elegy of a Fragmented Vineyard. If you look up Elegy, it'll probably be the second one after the Vice President book that I don't know anything about, but he wrote it, so read mine instead. And a Duet of Pernicious Eels.
Which I'm sure is the first one if you put in Pernicious Eels.
Yes, as far as I know, it is not out there unless some man has an interesting expose to write about his hate for eels.
And as we say goodbye, we hit 70. Congratulations. You are officially now the #1 most live viewed guest on Bald&Balding. And this is episode, hold on one sec here.
And by the way, I was born in 1970, just so you can figure out just how much older I am than you.
It's not bad, though.
I'm over twice your age.
It's an achievement.
You are guest or episode number 185. And that's how long it's taken us to get to 70 live viewers. Is 185 episodes. I was born in the 60s, so, whatever. Y'all suck.
And just so you know, Philip Chase did not get to 70 last week when we had him on here. So,
Oh, well, there we go.
Yeah, there it is. So everybody who's with us today, 65 of you are bots. That's fine. We don't care. You know,
just
thank
like
you for joining us, and thank you for giving Kaden this, what I'm sure will be a long-standing run at the top of the viewership list of Bald and Balding. Hell, you might still be here when you come back for episode 250 or whatever.
So, okay. Well, I guess it's time to wave awkwardly.
Oh wait, no.
Oh,
When
no.
are we back? When are we back again?
We are back tomorrow.
Tomorrow.
We have,
All right.
I can't think of his name now. I just keep wanting to say Harry and the Hendersons, and that's just wrong. Herman Hunter. Harry and the Henderson, Herman Hunter, something like that. Herman Hunter tomorrow night. So come back again.
7
Same
o'clock.
time. And since I didn't send Kaden the link yesterday until 15 minutes before the show, I took that time to send everyone else this week their link so they can actually log on and talk to us. So
there you go. It'll actually happen.
Yeah.
So thank you again. Anything else, Ro, or can I have
we can go. Thanks, everybody.
Wave awkwardly.